Have you ever wondered who was the first person to drop everything to follow Jesus? The one who heard his words for the first time and decided to completely change their life? And what if I told you the answer isn't as simple as it seems? Today, we're going to dive into this fascinating story and uncover who really was the first disciple of Jesus. Get ready, because the answer might surprise you. To understand who was the first disciple of Jesus, we need to go back in time to the beginning of his public ministry. Jesus began preaching and gathering followers in the region of Galilee, an area richly diverse in culture and religiosity. This vibrant and dynamic setting, where Jewish traditions mingled with Hellenistic influences, created the perfect backdrop for the emergence of a transformative movement. It was in this context that Jesus started calling his first disciples, simple men, mostly fishermen, who would become the pillars of spreading his teachings. During this period, messianic expectations were high among the Jews, who longed for a liberator to restore Israel. Jesus, with his words of hope and powerful acts of healing, quickly drew the attention and curiosity of many. The first followers of Jesus were not just spectators, but men deeply impacted by his message and presence. They left their ordinary lives behind, embarking on a journey that would change history forever. And it's in this atmosphere of religious fervor and search for meaning that the story of the first disciple of Jesus begins to unfold. The four Gospels of the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, provide us with different perspectives on the first disciples of Jesus. In the Gospel of John, we find a particularly interesting account. John the Baptist was with two of his disciples when he saw Jesus passing by and declared, "Behold, the Lamb of God." Hearing this, the two disciples followed Jesus. One of these disciples was Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. After spending some time with Jesus, Andrew ran to find his brother and said, "We have found the Messiah," bringing Peter to meet Jesus. This account suggests that Andrew played a crucial role and was indeed the first to follow Jesus and bring others to him. In the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, the narrative is a bit different. They describe the calling of Simon Peter and Andrew together. Jesus, walking by the Sea of Galilee, sees the two brothers casting their nets into the sea, for they were fishermen. He calls them, saying, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Immediately, they leave their nets and follow him. This simultaneous calling highlights the beginning of Jesus' ministry and the immediate commitment of the brothers to follow him. So, while John places Andrew first, the other Gospels indicate a joint calling, leaving room for different interpretations about who really was the first disciple of Jesus. In the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, the calling of the first disciples follows a similar pattern, but with subtle variations that enrich the narrative. In Matthew chapter 4, verses 18 to 22, and Mark chapter 1, verses 16 to 20, Jesus sees Simon Peter and his brother Andrew casting their nets into the sea, for they were fishermen. He says to them, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Immediately, they leave their nets and follow him. Shortly after, Jesus sees James and John, the sons of Zebedee, mending their nets in the boat with their father, and also calls them. They leave their father and the boat to follow Jesus. This account highlights the immediate response and total dedication required by Jesus from his disciples. In the Gospel of Luke, the story is a bit more detailed. In Luke chapter 5, verses 1 to 11, Jesus is preaching by the lake of Gennesaret when he sees the fishermen washing their nets. He gets into Simon's boat and asks him to put out a little from the shore so he can teach the crowd. After teaching, Jesus instructs Simon to go into deeper water and let down the nets for a catch. Simon, although skeptical because they had fished all night without success, obeys and catches a large number of fish, to the point that their nets begin to break. Amazed, Simon Peter falls at Jesus' feet, saying, "Go away from me, Lord. I am a sinful man." Jesus, however, responds, "Don't be afraid. From now on you will fish for people." Simon Peter, along with James and John, leaves everything and follows Jesus. This account emphasizes Jesus' authority and the radical transformation his call brought to the fishermen's lives. So, who really was the first disciple of Jesus? If we consider the Gospel of John, Andrew, initially a disciple of John the Baptist, would be the first to follow Jesus after hearing John the Baptist's declaration that Jesus is the Lamb of God. Andrew, excited, introduces his brother Simon Peter to Jesus, solidifying his crucial role in the early moments of Jesus' ministry. However, the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, present a narrative where Simon Peter and Andrew are called together while fishing. These accounts do not highlight Andrew individually as the first but rather the simultaneous calling of both brothers, suggesting they both had a joint beginning in following Jesus. This apparent discrepancy between the Gospels allows for different interpretations. Some scholars argue that the Gospel of John provides a more personal and detailed account, while the Synoptic Gospels focus more on the collective calling of the disciples. Regardless of the exact order, it is undeniable that both Andrew and Peter played fundamental roles in the formation of Jesus' first followers. Andrew, possibly the first to recognize Jesus as the Messiah, and Peter, who would become a central figure and undisputed leader among the apostles. Thus, the story of Jesus' first disciple is not just about who came first, but also about how each contributed to the movement that would change the world. So, what do you think? Who was the first disciple of Jesus in your opinion? Leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to receive notifications of our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching and see you next time.